after removing the manifold. You see she's still steaming yet. Had to get her quite warm. I'll probably put a new manifold on it anyway, so we'll see if we can get one. If it checks out alright, we might save it. I'm not really sure. It took quite a bit of heat to get it loose, but those bolts should be hardened bolts and they'll take heat, so you just need to be patient with them and just work the bolt back and forth really easy. Tighten, loosen, tighten, loosen, tighten, loosen until she breaks free. And use that tighten, loosen even when it frees up. Just keep back and forth till finally she comes. That bottom one right there was the toughest one. But we used a 10mm socket on 4 of them and vice grips on 2 of them, but we finally got them. Patience is a virtue. Go ahead. Breaking all the head bolts loose. I do it with a ratchet rather than an impact. Some guys do it with an impact, but I think you got a better chance of snapping them off. After you get them off with a ratchet, go ahead and hit them with an impact. But on impacts, they can cause you a lot of trouble. So they're great to use. Don't get me wrong. It's just that we use them, but not on breaking head bolts loose. Okay, we're going to keep moving on. We're going to pull the head bolts out now. And then we're going to have the head off in a minute. After we already broke them up, breaker bar, 1/2 inch. Just snip it out. Just want to make sure which bolts are, how long they are. Take outside ones look like they'll be a little bit shorter. We're going to compare them to see, but you never know. So compare them and you'll see. Yeah, so the out here, put so you can figure. There you go. All right, Kenny, go ahead and finish her up. I'm gonna take them all out, make sure they're all the same. Of course, you can always look in the parts book, but it's best wire right here to make sure which ones go where. You don't have to put them back in the same hole. Some companies want you to replace head bolts when you put them in. So we're going to check that with the service manual to make sure they just don't want new head bolts in it. John Deere engines, when you overhaul them, you give new connecting rod bolts for them. I'm talking about the 404s, the 219, 202s, 239s, 2045s, and 276s, they all get new rod bolts. John Deere has those bolts. They're made so you can you have to re-stretch them, so you can't re-stretch them, so you have to put new ones in. Otherwise, you're gonna have troubles with them. You can have a good chance of breaking a rod bolt. But we'll check to make sure the head bolts are reusable, the same as the rod bolts on this motor. We'll look over the service information before we assemble. Okay, well, we're getting ready to pull the head off. Are we ready? Yep. And Kenny getting ready to pop her off. There we go. Got a couple of dowel pins holding things up. Just flip it back, would you please? There you go. Alright, we're looking for as burnout valves, possible water, you know, those kind of things we're looking for when you pull the head off. Blowout head gasket. This is one of those metallic gaskets. You see it's stuck quite hard to it. They probably used a sealer before they put it on, which is pretty common. But the Shibaura, I've seen steel head gaskets, and I've seen the fiber head gaskets. I've seen them both. And I honestly think the fiber gasket actually holds up really well because it really seals better than the steel, but some people could argue with me on that. But I did one time, and that steel gasket didn't last very long at all. And put the other one on. It's been on there for a few years now. So, all right, we'll look down the side here, see everything's looking there. Got a little scoring inside that cylinder. This even has the crosshatch marks in the cylinders yet. Look, you can still see the crosshatch marks. So this engine hasn't been worked very hard. Of course, you got to make sure that's not above the rings. If it is, then. But to me, this engine has never been worked really hard at all, which is really detrimental to an engine. They need to work to get the rings wore right in. And this one here, the piston's up in the air yet, so you can't see that one. But we'll check it out, see what we got. A Shibaura engine. And a Ford New Holland tractor. They're usually a pretty stout little engine. Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to take the flywheel and the clutch out next. And then we're going to remove the engine from the frame, the chassis. We're done using it as an engine stand, so now we're going to pull it out. Not until we get the flywheel off and the back cover and all the flex plate, all that off the back of it. Alright, stay tuned, we'll have more.